Okay, the students who have connected online, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is our batch number? 625. Huh? Okay. 625. Okay. Create a new screen to collect the stickers. Okay. I think today we need to work on a practical, right? Meanwhile, I'll create one document. Six 625 batch 625. So today we'll work on some practicals, okay? Data class sections embedded into work class section, embedded into data class sections. Okay, so let's try to recollect what we have discussed in the last class before we proceed to work on the practical. So yesterday we were discussing about the general concept of embedded sections. Embedded section means a section including into another section. You are going to create one section. That section you are going to include into another section. This is called embedded sections. So here the advantage of creating multiple smaller sections and combining them into a container section. The advantage is you can reuse the portions of this screen into some other screens. You can reuse. Means it's like small slices. If you have the every slice, you can use multiple places without designing again and again. But again in this, what we were discussing about is you do not create the section which has controls in the work class or in the parent classes of work class. Instead, you create the section in a data class. So if you create a section in data class, how could you access that particular section into work class? By using page references. So how to access, I will show you practically. But what is the advantage? Suppose if you create a section in data class instead of work class or parent classes, what could be the advantage? The advantage is a single section can be embedded multiple times using different page references. Then it acts as different sections. So here we are going to achieve multi-purpose reusability for the sections. Multi-purpose reusability for what? Sections. So you do not have to create two different sections, one for billing address and one for shipping address. Instead, you can create only one section, that is something like address underscore wrapper section. Address wrapper section in data class. That single section you can include or embed twice. But each time while we embed, we use a different page reference. We use a different one time while you are embedding, you use billing address page as reference. Another time, shipping address pages. So for collecting different types of addresses, you do not have to create different or multiple sections. Within one section, with one section itself, you can achieve. So the ultimate best practice of creating UI in Pega. So you need to forget about all the things which you have learned so far. That is just a basic learning, like step by step you are learning. The ultimate practice is, if you want to create a user interface in Pega, first step is to create a data class and properties in the data class. That is step one. Step two, create a wrapper section in data class. Section also you create in which class? Data class only. Step three, create one or more pages referring to data class. Create one or more pages. Those are referring to what? Data class. Those should refer to data class. Then in the work class, you are doing this pages creation, and then create a container section in work class. Embed data class section into work class using different page references. This is what we are going to do. Now, data class, when you create, again, we have three levels. What are the three levels? Organization data class, framework data class, implementation data class. You need to create in one of the three data classes. You'll come to know now. Let's start working on a practical of creating a new screen to collect billing and shipping address details. We want to collect billing and shipping address details. That's the requirement which we are going to implement. So to implement this requirement, we are going to follow the steps that I have given yesterday. Okay. So for this, first thing is, as a step one, I need to create a data class. Create a data class by name address, But I'm going to create this data class in the organization data layer. Okay. This class has to be created under organization data layer. Why organization data layer? Why not framework data layer or implementation data layer? The reason is very simple. Collecting address details is pretty much common throughout entire your business application. So entire business application, collecting address details is pretty common. So because address screen is common everywhere, you always think about the topmost level. So now we are thinking about data layer. So I will create in organization data layer. Which data layer? Organization data layer. So here you go now. Organization data means this is the one. I can pin it. Okay. So how do you create a class? Right click, create sysadmin class. This is one approach. Other than this, what is the approach? Data types. Click on this, add data type. Yesterday we did it, no? So the same way. So add data type. So you know how to work with add data type, which we have done yesterday. Online students, every one of you following? Everyone. Are you following everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you give your class name, address. Give your class name, address, advanced. Here, parent class by default Pega, it is taking as implementation data. But what we want here? Organization data. Change the parent class to organization data class. Change parent class to organization data. So I will choose organization data instead of implementation data. By default, Pega will take implementation data. I'm going to choose organization data. So once you choose organization data, this is okay. But application also, I want to change it to framework application context. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay. So application, I want to change it to choose FW app layer, app context. Here, FW app context, I have to choose. Okay, this is clear, everyone. And then you can choose org rule set. This one you are not aware of. You would be learning this today or tomorrow. Today, we are going to discuss about this topic, rule set topic. What is the topic? rule setup. You just follow the documentation for now. Okay. Submit this. Do what? Submit. So once you click on submit button here, okay, you can add fields now. Add fields. So I'm going to add fields like door number. This is text property. Submit and add another. What is the next one? Address. Okay, door number, street name. So we'll take individual fields. Street name. After that, see, I'm going to have three properties here: country, state, city. All of you need to maintain these three properties because based on these three properties, we'll have some other requirements in future. So I'll go with country here. State, and thereby you go with city. Country, state, city. And pin code you want to add, you can add zip code also. Zip code. Submit this. So you have created all the properties which are needed for collecting address information, and then save this. So with this wizard, you have created two things. One is address class, and the second one is properties in the address class. Okay, here address class is created and properties are created in the address class. What do we do now? Next, now create a section in data class. A section in data class. Now I'm going to right click here, create user interface section. Okay. So when you create section here, the name of the section is address underscore wrapper. Address underscore wrapper section. This will wrap the fields related to address. Okay. And the context, you don't miss it. What is the context you have chosen while creating the class? Same context you are going to choose for all the rules that you create in that class. So the context, you never miss it, because missing a context will throw errors.
Harsha, we thought we are creating wrapper section in the work class, right? One container section in the work class.
Container section will create in work class. The wrapper section of the controls we will create in the data class. Okay, now add properties here. Add, see, can I drag and drop the properties directly into the section? Is it possible now?
Yes.
Why it is possible this time?
Same class.
Because it is in the same class. So just go ahead and get it now. Door number, street name, country, state, city, zip code. So now I'm going to change the appearance of these things. You can play with these options, appearance options and all. You can play with these options. Container format, I am changing it to notifications. I can add one more layout for better appearance. I mean, like my own appearance. Like here, I'll change the outer container as red color. So red color, inside that you'll get green color, something like this. So it appears much better. So this part is not mandatory. Your wish, you do it or not. Okay. Now there is a section available in data class that is wrapping all the required fields. Okay, wrapper section. This section, I want to get into the section which is in work class, but I'm not going to create the section in work class. I will create my section in organization class. Why organization class? Tell me. It can be accessed into work class or anywhere because it is address pretty much common everywhere in every business. I'll take it to the top level. Now, create 2 pages. How many pages? 2 pages in organization class. In organization class, those refers to data dash address class. Okay, one by one I will create. You can see. How can I create pages? Okay, right click on the class, view in data designer. This is another approach. Like right click, create data model properties, single page. All that options, right? This is another navigation. View in data designer. View in data designer. This view in data designer will provide you the same screen as add field screen is there now. Add fields. When you create a data type, you are getting add fields screen, no? Same screen you will get. So click on add field. You can ignore about these predefined fields. Okay, already aware. This is billing address page. Billing address page. At the end of the name of the page, you don't have to give anything like page. I'm just giving it for better understanding purpose for beginners. Now here, single page is a property type. Equivalent to single page, the option here in this wizard is embedded data. Means page is an embedded property. No? Page is embedded property. In that sense, this wizard is giving the property type as embedded data. And to which class it has to refer to? Address class. Which class? Address class. Now you see here, it is asking, choose whether it is a page type or page list type. You don't know about page list as of now. Single record means page. Single record means what? Page. Click on submit and add another. Submit and add another. Okay, let me click on submit and add another. Now shipping address. Shipping address. At the shipping address, you click on embedded data. Data object is address single record. Understand clear everyone? And then submit. And then do what? Submit. Make sense clear every one of you? Are you clear? So save this. Done. Completed. So 2 pages I have created in organization class following a different navigation. So navigation can be anything. Ultimately, you will achieve creating the page properties. Billing address page has all the properties. Shipping address page has all the required properties. Understand clear everyone? Do what? Next page is ready. Now create a container section. Container section. Let me create a container section. Let me close this, close this, close this. Here you go now. So here you go now. HDFC class. Right click on this. Create user interface section. Name of the section is address details section. What is the name? Address details section. This section is used to collect the address details. To collect the address details. So convert to full section editor as usual will follow for now. So within one layout, you can embed 2 sections, no problem. So to embed a section, so you cannot directly embed data class section. See here, you have to click on structural embedded section, drag and drop this inside the layout. Once you drag and drop, it will ask you, choose the section that you want to embed. If I click the down arrow, it will not show data class sections. It will show the container section is in HDFC class. So it will show either HDFC class or it will show parent classes of HDFC class. It won't show the sections of data class. If you want to see the sections of data class, then you should choose use clipboard page. What is that? Use clipboard page. And then name of the page is billing address page. And the class is HDFC data address. So in this class, there is a section available. That section I want to embed with the help of a page. Now it will show that data class section. Understand clear everyone? Are you clear? We'll do the same thing now. So click on structural and drag and drop embedded sections. Drag and drop embedded sections section into the layout. You drag and drop embedded section into the layout. Okay, you drag and drop. Okay, once you drag and drop here, page context, use current page context, embed the section which is of HDFC class, but we don't want that. We want the section from address class. So that section we access by using clipboard page. Use clipboard page. Use clipboard page. Class is HDFC data address. Class is HDFC data address. And the clipboard page is give a dot and access the page name, billing address page. What is the page name? Billing address page. Now, if you click the down arrow here, you will see the section address underscore wrapper. Understand clear, everyone? Submit this. So once you submit this, if you want to label it, then header, if you want to give header, click on this and provide the header here. What is the header? Click the down arrow, scroll down, header. And here it is billing address details. Billing address details. Like this, you can provide some header. That is up to you whether you give it or not. Okay, but it makes better sense. So now this is what you have embedded wrapper section with the help of a page. Now at runtime, these fields will become billing address page dot door number, billing address page dot street name, because the entire section is being referred by a page. Entire section is being inside the section, it is door number only. But as you have a page applied on the section, that will become billing address page dot door number. Now embed one more time. Embed one more time. But this time, what are we going to do? Embedded section. This time, you are going to use clipboard page, HDFC, data address, clipboard pages, shipping address, and the section is address wrapper section. Single section twice with different page references. Single section you embedded twice into the same screen using different page references. Now this will act as two sections. One section is now going to act as how many sections? Two different sections, as you have two different page references. Shipping, address, details. So can any one of you tell me what could be the clipboard structure of this? What is it going to be? The clipboard structure of these fields. The fields what you have here, what would be the clipboard structure of these fields?
We can see the properties under each page. Shipping under shipping address, we can find the door number, street name, and for billing address, under billing address single page, we can find the door number, street name, country. It will be different.
Okay. Good. Good.
But we can use the same section, right? We can if we are
The-
adding any if we want one
If you want to
property,
modify anything here, modify in the wrapper section. It is
but
not possible to modify only in one portion. If you modify in wrapper, it will automatically reflect here, both places.
so it will applicable to all the sections, right? If we want to add one
Wherever
property.
you use this, using any page reference, that will be applicable everywhere. So create a flow action. Right click on this, create.
And before this one, Harsha, this clipboard context when I embedding this section, okay, is what exactly that is referring?
See, if you know clipboard context properly, clipboard
Mhm.
page and all,
Mhm.
I mean, like using a page, you are embedding the section. Why you are using page? Because it is in data class, non-inherited class. Okay, now if you don't use pages, you cannot access non-inherited class related sections. Okay, and for the screen, whatever you design, you should have a clear idea about what is the clipboard structure. Then only further, if you want to enhance anything or use anything, you will be able to do it. Address details, flow action, create and open, create and open. And the section is address details section, address details section. We will add this into existing flow. Save, done. Now open existing flow. Process, flow, begin instance. And here add an assignment. you can connect it in between. You can connect it in between. Okay, now. So like this, first customer details, then address details, then vehicle details. Like this in between I have added. So call the flow action here. This is address details and call the flow action. So when you do not see that, when you click on more, it will show the section. So you know what? When I execute this flow, customer details screen gets displayed and address details screen will be loaded. Flow action will load. Inside the flow action, container will load. Container will load. You want to know container is loading or not? I will put a header for the container, just like container section. Okay, just for better understanding. But inside container section, you have two other wrapper sections. I mean, like one section embedded, no, two types. Data class section will not get loaded. There will be a problem. I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, now you see. Here, when you embed the section, how you did it. So when you embed the section, you have set the process commander, use clipboard page. That means there will be a page on clipboard by name billing address page. Use this page from clipboard and then load the section and then load the section. That's what you set the process commander clearly, right? Now let's see. Now run, I'm sorry. So now run the flow. Customer details is getting displayed here. Okay, customer details is getting displayed, right? Okay, you can enter some details here. Submit this. So once you submit this, in the next screen, this is what happened. Container section loaded or not? Container section is loaded. But inside that, the data class section load has not happened. Data class section has not been loaded at runtime. The reason is go to clipboard. Go to clipboard. So when you go to clipboard, here PY work page. What is that? PY work page. In the PY work page, you see there is no billing and shipping address pages. There are no. So billing and shipping address pages. Billing and shipping address pages are not available on clipboard under PY work page. Okay. So by the time address screen loads, address screen gets loaded, PRPC expects the above two pages. Then only data class section gets loaded. So the solution for this is, see, while designing, you clearly told the process commander that you have to use a clipboard page and embed the section. But at runtime, the clipboard page should be available by the time the screen loads. Otherwise, what will happen? It won't load the data class section. As the clipboard pages are not available, it's not loading. The solution is, so before the address screen loads, we must create billing and shipping address pages on clipboard. How do you create? This can be done by setting. At least one property of each page to any value, any value, preferably that can be a blank value, blank. Pega also will follow the same when we work with wizard. I'll show you in future also. So any value, preferably a blank value. So if you set at least one property of the page to a blank value, then that page gets created on clipboard. Okay, you have a page, assign a property of the page with a blank value at least, or any other value, it will create the page. So let's do this. Let's do this in the outward connector of start sheet. See, this is an exceptional situation in your learning process. In your learning process of UI, this is an exceptional situation. So the outward connector of start shape, okay, that is what this one. Okay, double click on above connector. So you double click here. When you double click here, you can see set properties. You can set the properties with some values using connector also. That facility is there. Here, dot billing address page. More, you click on more. Dot billing address page. You select billing address page. Dot billing address page. Dot street name. Dot billing address page. Dot street name. I am setting it to empty value. Blank value, if you want to set, give a double quote and again one more double quote. 2 times if you give double quote, that is called empty string. That is called empty string. Add property. You click on what? Add property. This time what am I going to do? Shipping address page dot street name is equal to blank value. See, this is what? Billing address page dot street name, shipping address page dot street name. So at least one property of the page I am setting with some value so that pages gets created on clipboard. I will show you now. Now create a case. At the very beginning, see, I am not creating the pages when it goes to address screen. At the very beginning itself, I am making sure to create the pages, whatever I need in future. So actions and then run. So go to clipboard. PY work page. Under PY work page, do you have billing address page as well as shipping address page? 2 pages are readily available or not? So the pages are readily available. That means if you are going to if you are going to load the address screen using this page references on clipboard, address screen data class sections will be loaded. So here you can enter the data. Here you can enter the data for age, gender, okay, email ID, phone number. Okay, and then do what? Submit. Once you submit, the next screen gets displayed. This is what we are expecting: billing address and shipping. Here you can enter door number D-111, street name, let's say Main Street, country India, state TS, city HYD, zip code something. Okay, door number D-222 simply, street name, let's say sub street, and country India, okay, and AP, VIJ, and zip code is something. Okay, and then submit this. Do what? Submit this. So once you submit, the screen data is submitted. What will be the clipboard structure of that screen? Tell me. PY work page. Under PY work page, you'll be having billing address page with the data. And under PY work page, you'll be having shipping address with the data. Understand clear, everyone? Online students, are you clear?
Harsha,
Everyone.
why are we using clipboard page option only to load these classes?
Sections. Data
Yeah,
class.
section.
Yes. While embedding, we have used the option of use clipboard page. While embedding, we have used an option of use clipboard page.
But we have other options also there. Why we are not using
First
those
think
options?
about this option. Whatever I'm telling you, just go with that option. Other options are not required now.
Okay,
Okay.
is this the like standard thing which we need
Yes,
to use in the companies?
everywhere same. This is the ultimate practice you are going to follow in real time. Okay. So
Okay.
you'll never follow anything else. This is the practice you'll be following. Clear, everyone? So whatever I am going to teach you during this course, so what they are going to use in the real time, the same I'll be teaching. Ultimately, I'll be coming to that point only. Okay. Now you see here, but I'll tell you one or two other ways of implementing the same, because some people will implement differently, some people will implement differently. Okay. So next topic is, we are going to just get deviated from our regular practicals of UI. We'll be back to the same practicals after some time. So I have already explained you about job roles and okay, I mean like server environments. Did I tell you about server environments anytime? Server environments. Did I tell you this in the past? How many environments are there?
Yes. 5.
Sandbox,
Fine.
development server, QA server, UAT server. After that,
Post-production.
production server or live server, and then post-production. Sandbox, post-production are optional. Development, QA, UAT, live. So who will log into development server? Who will have access to development server?
Developer.
Developers will have access to development server. Who will have access to QA and UAT server? Testers.
Testers.
Who will have access to live servers?
Customer.
Real business people. Whoever is end users. End users will have access to live server. And who will have access to sandbox? Sandbox.
Everyone.
Developer, not everyone. Developers only. What is the purpose of sandbox server? For case study, research oriented things. Case study and research related. I told you about server environments. Now let me explain you about. So this one, the concept of agile methodology. Agile methodology at a very high level. Okay. So agile methodology defines a project development life cycle. Project development life cycle. So what are the stages in project development life cycle? Okay, requirements gathering. Okay, this analysis, design, development, unit testing, QA testing. Okay, build and deployment. These are the main steps in the software development lifecycle. Suppose if you have a project and the project duration is 1 year, overall project is 1 year. So if the project is 1 year, in an agile methodology, how the development will be done? So development will be done in different iterations. You'll be having, let's say, for example, 1 year of project duration, 1 year duration of entire project, 1 year duration for entire project. Let's say, for example, just like that. Then these will be divided. Into different iterations. Let's say, for example, one iteration is equal to, let's say, 3 months, otherwise 2 months duration. How many months? Just example I'm taking. So that is equal to, that tends to a release. That is going to be a release. That is called as release. Release means project will go live. It will go to live server. Okay. See how this will be divided is in an agile methodology or Scrum model. Okay. So in agile methodology, so your project usually will be divided into multiple releases to go live. 1 year project means, it doesn't mean that after 1 year, your project will not go live. Every 2 months, for every iteration, it will go to live server. Means developers are going to do the development in development server and they unit test it. After development is done, it will be the rules, whatever you create, will be packaged and moved into QA server Okay. So after it is been moved into QA server, then it will go to UAT server. It will go to UAT. At QA, testers will test it. After QA testing is done, it will be moved to UAT for regression testing. It will be moved to UAT for what testing? Regression testing. After UAT, it will be moved to live. But then how it will be done? Is it like after every 2 months? Okay. Is it like once in 2 months you will move to QA and UAT? No. So your project will be like in a Scrum model or Agile methodology. So your requirements, whatever you get, requirements will be given to you in a sprint. Okay. This is 2 months duration, right? So this 2 months, one iteration, one release is divided into 4 sprints. How many sprints? 4 sprints. Okay. So one sprint is equal to how many days? 2 weeks time. How many weeks time? 2 weeks duration. Usually I'm talking about, okay, in every project, 2 weeks duration. This 2 weeks time is for development plus unit testing plus QA testing plus UAT testing. So 4 sprints together, 4 into 2 weeks, 2 months, no? 4 sprints together will be moved to live server. So every 2 weeks, they will not move to live server. What happens is, a sprint begins, sprint 1, all the developers will get the requirements. So developer has to do analysis, design, development within 2 days time, including unit testing. Then hand over it to QA people. So move it to QA and UAT. QA people will test in QA as well as UAT. Everything is fine. They will keep it aside. Sprint is over. Next, second, third, fourth. Fourth sprint is also over. All the testing is done. 4 sprints together will be moved to live server. So in a sprint contains user stories. What does it contains? User stories. User stories means requirements. Each user story will be given with story points. What is that? Story points means effort in hours. Means what? Effort in hours. So how many for a given requirement? How many story points you want to give? 5 story points means 5 hours time I will take to work on this, to implement this, like that. So in real time, the project development for all of you will be like, if you are there in a project, your sprint begins, you get the requirements. Do design, analysis, design and development, unit testing. Or package it, it will be moved to QA. After moved to QA, QA people will test it. Everything good, it will be moved to UAT. UAT regression testing will be done. Everything good, keep it aside, sprint is over. Second sprint again, same will be repeated. Fourth sprint also same will be repeated. 4 sprints together will be moved to live. So the requirements you will get by using a tool called Jira tool. What is the tool name? Jira tool. This will be accessed by business analyst. Business analyst accesses Jira tool, drafts the requirements and assigns the requirements to teams. You need to log into Jira, download the requirement document, And then you and your tech lead together work out on the requirements to assign some story points, means how many hours of efforts. Usually developer has to decide because he only knows. Okay. And then you start working on it. So now, see, I'll tell you, we are now getting to, getting into PRPC topic. From this, we are going to get into PRPC topic. All of you are clear, everyone. So
Yeah, so
non-working
one
people
thing
also.
for the story points, okay, in our tool, it's not denoting as a hours. It's a story points. Maybe the
Okay,
story point will have the hours. Means suppose the one story point will be have the 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours.
let it be. That's what I told. No effort
Hmm.
in hours. No?
But it's a number itself. So one
That's what
story
I
point may be
told.
6.
Effort in hours means how you will show. How many hours? 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, like that only. Okay. That's what I'll write down hours. Okay. Number. Effort in hours means numbers only. Story point means number. That is what hours. How many hours you take it to finish one story point. In some companies, 1 point equal to 1 hour. In some companies, 1 point is 8 hours. Means a day. Okay, it depends. Okay. Okay. Now, what is that? We are going to turn towards PRPC. Now, suppose sprint one begin. Sprint one begin. You got a requirement. It's a brand new requirement. Okay, brand new requirement you got. Brand new requirement. So in a brand new requirement, okay, I'm sorry. Here you go. Brand new requirement. You are going to get. You are being given a requirement. Brand new requirement to create customer details screen. Brand new. It was not there with the 7 fields into it. How many fields? Some 7 fields into it. You created and delivered. Over. Sprint 1 is over. So now sprint 2. What is the next sprint? Sprint 2. You got a requirement in sprint 2. Modify the existing customer details screen by adding 2 more fields. 2 more fields. That is already 7 were there plus 2 fields additionally. How many fields? 2 more fields additionally. 7 were already there. So now what do you need to do? Do you need to create the customer details screen again from the scratch? No, it is already there. You open the existing one, add 2 more fields. So when you open the existing one and add 2 more fields, how it works, let me tell you in a proper way. I'll explain. Imagine that you have an Excel sheet or something. You have an Excel sheet available in your system. You open the Excel sheet. Already Excel sheet is created few days back. 7 rows are there. You got a requirement to modify this Excel sheet by adding 2 more rows. You are adding 2 more rows now into the Excel sheet. You are going to add 2 more rows. Okay. So here you go. Row 8. Row 8. So R9, row 9. 2 more fields you have added. Now you saved it. Okay, very good. But business is asking, when you show this, business is asking, where is the old rule? Without the new changes, where is old rule? Where is old file which has only 7 records? Now you are showing me the file with 9 records. I also want the old file with 7 records only. Then this approach doesn't work out. You should not add directly. What should you do now? What should you do now?
Rule set.
Versioning.
So here in the Excel file, what should you do? You need to, okay, give me 1 minute. I'll just cross check whether that is saved. Okay, let me remove this, make it as a original file. Okay, now what should I do is, if you want original file also after making changes, I'll copy the file. I'll paste it. I will paste here. So now this one, second file, first file is there now. First file, I am renaming it as V1. What is that? V1. What about this one? This is V2. underscore V2. So now I am making changes on V2. I'm making changes on V2. Okay. R9, row 9. So I'm making it. Now, whenever we want to access this file, book 2, we will always access V2 because that is the latest one. So if you do not want V2 anytime, you can use V1 as V1 is also separately available. So whenever you modify a rule, it is a practice that do not modify the rule directly by opening the rule as it is. Make a copy of the rule and then modify it. Where do you place this copy of the rule? That is where you are going to get the concept called versioning. What is the concept? Versioning concept. Everyone clear, online students? Point, you understand the point, key point? Version management. Every one of you, are you clear? Versioning, importance of versioning. So
Yes.
in this version management concept, this is implemented in Pega. See, if you are working with version management using Java or some other technologies, you need to use third-party tools like Subversion Manager, Serena Version Manager, GitHub. Tools you need to use for maintaining the versions of the code files. But here in Pega, versioning can be achieved. Versioning can be achieved by using rule set. What is it? Rule set. Tell me now. You know about the definition of a rule. Rule is an instance of a concrete class which gets stored as a record in the table of rule base. Okay, in a table of rule base, the table is mapped to concrete class. Every rule in Pega is an instance of a concrete class. You know about rule. Every rule is one instance. Then what is your guess about rule set? What do you think rule set means? Rule set is
Collection of rules.
collection of rules. It's like a box. It's like a box or container of rules, which helps in versioning the rules. Which helps in versioning the rules. You understand? Which helps in versioning the rules. Everyone clear? So at the time of creating a rule, you look at here. At the time of creating a rule, rightly create data model property. Okay. So what is this one? Something test property, create and open. So before you create, it is asking the context into which application you want to place this, in which class you want to place. Apart from that, what is the rule set and what is the version? It is asking. What is the rule set and what is the version? I'll slowly explain you these things. It will take 2 days time to explain the concept of rule set. Once we understand rule set concept and versioning, then going forward, while we are creating any rule, the rule set option also we will choose it with our proper knowledge. As of now, you are blindly following my documentation for rule set option. But going forward, with proper knowledge and clear-cut understanding, you'll choose one of the options because there are multiple available, not only one, multiple available. Okay. So rule set is a box or container of rules which helps in what? Which helps in versioning the rules. Which helps in versioning the rules. Make sense? Clear, everyone? Now what are we going to do? Okay. See, rule, when we create new application, Pega has created total, when we create new applications, total 6 rule sets. How many rule sets? 6 rule sets. Total 6 rule sets. Okay, out of which 2 rule sets, 2 implementation application rule sets, 2 more organization rule sets, 2 more framework application related rule sets. In this, here, implementation application rule set 1, implementation application integration rule set. Integration rule set 1. So, and below one here, this one, organization rule set. What is the second one? You tell me. Organization, integration rule set. Coming to here, then tell me. Framework application rule set. Second one, framework application integration rule set. Like this, in every application, integration rule set is available at every level, 3 level. Organization level, framework level, and implementation. So everywhere you have one integration rule set, which we will use in future classes. When we work with the concepts of integrations, that time only we use integration rule set. As of today, either knowingly or unknowingly, you have used implementation rule set, you have used organization rule set, you have used framework rule set. These 3 rule sets you have already used. We will use these 3 rule sets only going forward. When we reach integrations concept, we will use that. So let me write down one point. Rule sets are being referred from. Rule sets are being referred from application rule form. Application rule form. I will show you that. So let me close this. Okay, if I click on application definition, application menu and choose definition, these are the details about your implementation application, HDFC vehicle application. In this application here, you see application rule sets. How many rule sets are there? First rule set, second one, third one. Total how many are there? 4. Out of these 4, you look at this. HDFC VEHI is application name. With the same name, you have a rule set. Yes or no? You have a rule set with same name. This is called implementation application rule set. With the same name, with an additional 3 letters of INT, you have another rule set. This is implementation application integration rule set. And this name is matching with what? Third one. This is organization rule set. This is. So your implementation application is pointing to implementation rule sets, organization rule sets, total 4. And you go to the definition of framework application. That is pointing to framework application rule set, framework application integration rule set. And the remaining 2 are organization and organization integration. In the 2 applications, each application has its own application and application integration rule sets. Plus 2 applications commonly have 2 rule sets of organization and organization integration. Total how many rule sets? 2 applications together?
6.
Total 6 rule sets are there
Total.
in 2 applications together. Out of the 6, 2 are common. 2 are common because we have used the same organization for both. What if you have used different organizations for different applications? You would have got 8 rule sets. Okay. Now, why application is having rule sets being mentioned there? An application can access rules, yes or no, at runtime. When you look at here now, customer details section, customer details section, customer details section. So customer details section is there in Geico. Am I able to access the Geico application related rule into HDFC application? Why not? The reason is my application HDFC is not pointing to the rule set which Geico, which has certain rules there. Suppose my application is referring to Geico rule set. Now can I access Geico rule set related rules into my application? Yes, I will be able to access now. So that's the point. An application can only access the rules of the specified rule sets in its definition. Okay. An application can only access the rules of rule sets that are mentioned in the application definition. In the application definition. Understand clear? It cannot access any other rules of any other rule sets other than something is measured. See, implementation application can access the rules of implementation application rule sets, organization rule sets. Also, it can access the rules of framework application rule sets. Understand? Why? Because framework application is built on application. An application can access the rules of itself, its rule sets plus built on application rule set. That's why our implementation application can access the rules of Pega rules platform rule sets also. Okay. So every rule in Pega will be available inside an application, inside a class, and in a box called rule set. That box helps in versioning of the rules. That concept we will be discussing tomorrow. Tomorrow, what am I going to tell you is rule set and versions. So before that, I'll tell you the context. The context, choosing the right context of rule. Context of rule. There you have application, class, and rule set. This particular context, you will get a clear picture tomorrow. And after that is over, you will be dealing with rule set and versions. Rule set and versions. Are you clear with this, every one of you? Online students, are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. Last time address screen we created an organization rule set only. For now, you follow blindly my screenshot for the rule set option. By tomorrow, end of the day, end of the class, you'll get a clear picture of how to choose a proper rule set, a particular rule set. Okay, that I will cover tomorrow. Okay, you just need to go through all these things what we have discussed today. One practical plus, understand the development model in Pega, Scrum methodology, sprints, user stories. That concept you need to know, that cycle you need to know. Okay, and then think about rule set and look at the application definition. And then tomorrow I'll explain you remaining points. 625, right? Pega class, March 25, 20. So I'll attach the documents. For today, you can wind up. Thank you for joining.